Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level best of 3. Today we have Clem as our Terran player and Reynor as our Protoss, at least starting as a Protoss here out on Dynasty. Gonna take the gold base. Reynor has been playing a lot of TOS. He's been quite good in the PvZ matchup, not quite as great in PvT and PvP. So I'm curious to see how this is gonna pan out against Clem, who in my opinion currently has the best... Probably, yeah. I think the best Protoss versus Terran in the entire world, or Terran versus Protoss in the entire world, of course, from his perspective. It's going to be opening up with a 2-gas opener, which is something that he's been doing an absolute crap ton. The double gas openers are all the rage right now, especially in Clem's world. He loves it. The the control it gives him in the game, the ability to play many different types of build orders, and on Dynasty specifically, the ease it gives you to get this gold base up, because you have such fast cyclones. You can put on a lot of pressure if your opponent decides to take a gold base. This map is really different from any of the other maps just because of that gold. The gold is so darn important that, yeah, Clem is going to scout that here. He's going to say to himself, okay, you want to take the gold? Let's see what I can do about that. And he's going to fly this factory over. To me, this feels like a response to seeing the gold here. So he's going to get 2 cyclones. Most likely, or it could also be Hellions, actually. Okay, it's going to be Cyclones. Could even be Cyclones into Hellions. It's not even that bad of an idea. I'm surprised that I managed to come up with it myself. That's how good of an idea it is. As this Reaper is pretty much winning the game by itself already. He's getting 2 kills here. 3rd kill, no, not quite. That's forced another pool away. So that's a lot of money wasted here on the side of Reynor, who's now throwing down a Twilight Council about 40 seconds later than is usual. Well, 35 seconds later than is usual. Not a great start. He's moving across the map with his first Stalker. He's going to move across the map with the second Stalker as well. Wants to try and harass this base that isn't even done quite yet, as 2 Cyclones are now popping out. This Stalker is going to move towards the outside of the gold. This is probably the worst idea that I've seen in my entire life. To me, this looks like someone that has never played this map before in Protoss vs Terran and has had some theories or ideas on how to play it. And these theories right now are being... They're crumbling right in front of his eyes. As this Stalker is going to fall, these 2 Cyclones are going to continue denying mining. There's no battery here. This pylon is falling. Needs to construct the battery before the pylon goes down, outside of Cyclone range. If you ever want to mine from this base, this is the only solution you have. And I guess that solution is not being utilized. That means that this base won't be mining. We see the command center down here already mining. 2 Stalkers now being pushed out. Overall resources lost. Tells a pretty complete story of this game so far. Banshee behind this as well. Clem is not gonna stop with the near constant pressure. 2 Cyclones on the high ground waiting for the Stalkers to come in and flank. I don't even think a single Cyclone here is gonna die. Nope. 3 Stalkers fall, so that makes 4 in total, and everything that's gone down so far on Clem's side has been just that single Reaper, which also managed to kill some probes earlier. So yeah, I am not very happy here if you're a Protoss fan. And I'm a Protoss fan, so I'm not very happy here. This is absolutely terrible. eBay coming down as well right now. We have a second barracks already on the way. It's gonna be 3-gate blink. The damage that has been dealt here is insane. And the moment the first Banshee moves across the map, the game will end. And even if... Honestly, anything can move across the map and the game will end. Even if nothing moves across the map, the game will end. Because the eco situation for Reynor is just so freaking bad. It is honestly impossible to imagine Reynor ever winning this game. At least, I can't really imagine it. So, Banshee's gonna move in. We have a Prism on the way, no Observer out. I'd be shocked if Reynor stays in for, any amount of time after this Banshee shows up. Yeah, GG gets called. Clem wins game number 1 against Reynor's Protoss. Alrighty, game number 2 is going to be played on post-youth, as we see Reynor returning to form as a Zerg player, the way that I like it. I enjoy watching him play Protoss versus Zerg when he plays Protoss against other Zergs, but his PvT is not quite, not quite up to par with what Clem is showing us in this matchup. CVT, or TVZ, has historically, or initially when Clem came up I should say, been his best matchup. And it was the matchup where he won a lot of championships on the back of. He took like 5 of these European regionals during the COVID period, where everything was being played online. I taking out Cyril and Reynor multiple times, which was very, very cool. I feel like as of late, much less stable in the matchup than he was back then. Maybe that's also because the matchup is harder. I don't know if that's true, but it feels like he still relies basically on the same playbook. He's been relying on a similar playbook for a very, very long time now, where we're expecting some type of early game harassment. Not very committed though. I'm not expecting full Hellbat attacks. I'm not expecting marine pushes. I'm expecting either a Viking Liberator opener or like a Hellion Viking Liberator or Hellion Banshee type of opener into a triple CC type of follow-up. So you still have that early game pressure, and if you control very well as the Terran player, you sometimes can just straight up win or deal a lot of damage, and then he goes into his dropping stage. And once we get there, he has a very particular pattern as well that he uses. As for now, trying to figure out what his opponent is up to, and maybe even wanting to get a scout here on the main base to see if there's gas, because this is a map where very often the gas ends up getting skipped, and that also is the case here this time around. Clem is going to just poke around a little bit, go and tries to block the third base, and probably will succeed at that. Reynor will send his drone back home after spotting that with the Overlord, sees the Reaper coming in as the first Lynx on the way. Queen's not quite out yet. They still require about 6 seconds here to finish. And whoop, there we go. Oh, it's gonna stay alive as well. Neat plays out of Reynor. Double injects as well. Lovely to see. So it's gonna be pumping drones like his life depends on it. We're not seeing a second gas yet, so that completely indicates a fast third command center that's gonna get thrown down here. Ooh, it's 2 Reaper. That's cute. Double Reaper opener. That's perhaps going to allow him to deal a bit more damage than Reynor initially thought his opponent could. This Reaper is falling quite low already. SCV's now being pulled away from the third to try and help dealing a bit of damage. 1 Reaper does fall though, as the SCV also goes down. Not the greatest control out of Clem. As we'll blame it on ping. We'll do that. We'll do that. Of course, Clem is in Europe and Reynor currently in Korea because he's participating in the GSL. But that's very cute. That actually is very cute. Oh, we'll blame it on ping. This one, by the way, the Z is the laughing in Korean, because I believe the location of where the Z is on the Korean keyboard is usually the noise that Korean people make when they laugh, or that they believe people make when they laugh. I think it's like ke 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 ke. I think that is the, like, instead of ha 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 ha, it is a ke 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 ke, which I've never heard someone laugh like that. But then again, I haven't spent a lot of time in Korea, so maybe that's my mistake. Fast Tim. Ooh. I thought he was building a new factory. I was like, what, is he playing Mac? But no, just flying his factory over. It's going to be a 2-on-1 follow-up with... the plan was 2 Reapers, 2 Hellions. See if we can deal some damage. Without the 2 Reapers, that's much, much harder for one simple reason. There's no units that can kind of regenerate themselves like the Reaper can. That's, of course, the big advantage of the Reaper. You can always engage these queens, throw a cheeky little grenade, then you move back and you get a little bit of health back on those Reapers as well, once they're out of combat. Double Evos popping off here before the lair starts, which is important to note. Probably means that Reynor has a good clue as to what is kicking off. I haven't scouted anything there yet, though. Not with an Overlord, not with Lynx. I guess the complete lack of extra Hellions is doing a lot of work here for Reynor. Just giving him the confidence into doing this. Is this Overlord's gonna get cleared here? Yeah, Orbital just lands. Can move back now instantly towards the third base. As Clem starts his first 2 medevacs. And we're gonna be seeing... really the first stage of Clem's play, which often revolves around these heavy medevac attacks and really splitting them up as well. So we're going to have an attack towards the left side. I think his trademark move is actually kind of flying towards or moving towards a base or an area where he can clear creep, maybe trade with Lynx, then pick up and then try to drop off into a base. And then the second set of medevacs is going to move over towards the fourth. That's kind of what I'm expecting here. Let's see if it's correct. He could also try and go towards the fourth initially and then try to move, kind of rotate towards that left side. But this run by is going to ruin things just a little bit for him. As Lynx are... Oh my god, almost got in. but just in time. Does manage to get the lift on the depot. Link count still increasing. There's a lot of links out, by the way. 26 already. 10 queens as well. That is a significant amount of queens. 7 queens in the front, 1 queen per base. That is actually a very significant amount of queens here. 5th base also starting. Don't forget, with these gold minerals, you don't quite need as many drones. So maybe Reynor here planning on going for a bit of a baneling attack with either 1-1 or 2-2 upgrades. Does get the surround on one of these Hellions, will fall. Second Hellion, getting low but not quite dying. Marines will secure this base, but not after losing 10, maybe even 11 workers. At the same time, these Marines are trying to trade against the Queens, but that is trading energy for energy, really. Medevac energy versus Queen energy. I think 1 or 2 Marines might have fallen as well. Overall, resources lost looking solid here for Reynor, who's significantly outmining his opponent, despite actually being down in workers. And it does start to feel like we're heading into a bit of a timing attack here, coming out of the Italian Zerg player. Because he doesn't have the drone count, he's getting a baneling nest, I think it's just going to be 1-1. Okay, now it's going to start 2-2 as well. Has the centrifugal hooks on the way. Like, I'm just kind of waiting for these links to move in and start killing stuff. Like, once more, because that just seems to be the game plan. Not a single drone is being added into the mix. This is pure 56 drones, completely undersaturated this base. Now we finally have 5 more drones coming in, as Clem decides to move out with his 2 extra medevacs. He's actually going to join up with the middle force. This is different from what we usually see out of him. Perhaps a feature of the map. Tank, couple of Marines and a Hellbat. Is that going to be good enough against this type of link count? I think the answer is a very simple and hard no. As the Hellbat is going to get taken out. Marines actually with a flank are going to help out, but will not quite be enough. I don't think so. At the same time, this army got pushed back as well by the Queen Banelings. This went much better for Clem than I thought it would. The next round of Zerglings, though, could potentially be very, very lethal, as the mine isn't quite holding its own. Got a couple of kills. No Marine count to help out. Banelings now showing up, and that means that these SCVs are all going to fall. Either die to the Banelings or die to the Lings. You get to pick how you die, but die they shall. As a couple of Banelings here defensively, as well as Queens. Ooh, almost get connections there with those Marines. Worker count 45. Clem taps out as he can't hold back at home. And that's going to be it for this game. Quick little game once more. 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Reynor picks it up. Alright, my dear friends, and that's going to bring us to game number 3 between Clem and Reynor with a 1-1 score. Once again, a Zerg game. So we're playing on Oceanborn, one of the more standard maps and one of the maps that I personally appreciate. I think it's a cool map that tends to provide pretty fun games because these side bases are not so clear to who they belong. I feel like these bases, they're almost completely neutral bases. I think that's really cool, just to kind of see. It's like, hey, you got these bases that are really out there. As you have an SCV moving across the map, standard worker scout for our good friend Clem. Wonder if he's gonna switch it up a little bit here. I'm honestly not a huge fan of low Hellion counts into Marine builds, especially if you have the speed that a player like Clem has. Now, I'm obviously aware of the fact that he is much more knowledgeable about build orders, but it often feels to me like you're giving the Zerg players kind of an out when you play a low Hellion count into a Marine type of drop. Because realistically, you're not going to lose drones or creep tumors to these initial Hellions. And it basically means you're playing single player for the first 5 minutes. And playing single player for the first 5 minutes against Reynor is very scary. Because he's really freaking good at single player. He's very good at multiplayer, but he's insane at single player. If Reynor goes untouched for 6-7 minutes, his creep spread is basically in your third base at the 7-minute mark. It is not fun. And... ooh. Oh! Clem is switching it up heavily here with a proxy starport. Double gas opener. This is a build he has been mixing in occasionally. It's going to be a 4 Hellion drop into the main base. And this... did Reynor see the SCV not come back? Because that could be a pretty big thing, right? If you see an SCV not returning back home, it's like, hey, where did that SCV go? And Reynor is the type of player that would pay attention to that. Reynor is the type of player that would pay attention to that. 2 Hellions now moving out. It's going to be double Cyclone behind this? Excuse me. What is this? Oh, it's a Liberator. is not going to be a medevac. It's just going to be a straight up Liberator behind this. So we're going to have some, I guess, some minor pressure on the front with Hellion, Hellion, Cyclone, Cyclone. And the goal to me smells like taking out some Overlords. And then the Liberator is going to go in and try to do a similar thing. Well, not take out Overlords, but just get some harassment on. See if we can get a couple of kills here on these drones. There's currently 0 queens over in the main base, which must be quite scary here if your name is Reynor. He's going to spot it though with his Overlord, which is nice. I mean, he's not going to spot the Starport, but he'll get a bit of a, you know, a bit of a warning before they come out. Reynor has probably seen the Cyclones with his Overlord, but hadn't responded quite yet. It's going to lose 1 OV as a result. Could potentially lose a second. More links now in production. 17 links already out. Liberator making its way over into the main base. We have no real response out of the Italian Zerg, but that is a great surround here on those Cyclones, on those Hellions, and they are, well, not all of them are going to fall, but a couple of them will. 1 Cyclone, 2 Hellions go down. Oh, yeah, 1 Cyclone, 2 Hellions, and a Reaper go down. Liberator at the same time dealing damage over in the main base. Gets a shot off here on a Queen as well. This is a beautiful position. Can it even be attacked here? This is a crazy spot. It is completely safe from Queens and is stopping 2 of these things from mining. Oh, no, it's not completely safe from Queens. Okay, there's a weak spot here on the left side. He's going to need to lift this up and piss off with it right away. Ooh, it's just going to reposition. That's a mistake. It's going to lose it instantly. Yeah, that's nasty. And here comes Reynor with a decent link count. He's going for a surround. He's going for kills here. Gets the 1 Cyclone. We'll push this away. 9 roaches on the way behind this as well. CC coming out. Do we have enough defensively as Clem to deal with this? That is, of course, the next question that we should be asking ourselves. And I think the answer to that question is a very simple no. I don't think he has quite enough to defend himself. He has 5 Hellions, 6 Marines. Now, the Marines are going to have Stim, which is actually a really big deal because that allows them to deal much more damage, especially when the wall still is up. No, come on. Oh, it does get the Stim in time. That was a terrible time to lower these depots, or perhaps the perfect time because these links are all going to fall. That's going to make the push much easier to hold. That's about minus 15, 16 links. There's of course going to be plenty of links to go around though. Bunker is going up, so the roaches have been spotted. Second bunker going down as well. I'm expecting a tech lab here on this factory. Combat is on the way. We have 5 Hellions. We have a bunker that is done. A second bunker that is close to 80% being done here. SCV is now being pulled off the line. We get a good surround on the bunker. Can he move away? Biles do connect a little bit, but the bunker stays alive for now. And that's a lot of damage output coming out of these Marines that are still in the bunker. Most likely stimmed as well. That's so much damage here that's being dealt by those Marines. The bunker stayed alive for a little longer than I think Reynor ideally would have wanted. Did not quite get the full surround on the bunker immediately. And right now has a massive supply lead, the Zerg that is. Bigger army. Fairly close in the worker count. Needs to deal more damage. This is not over yet. This is absolutely not over. The infrastructure for Terran is phenomenal. The upgrades are going to be great. Do we even have a lair? No, we don't. That means that if Clem gets to survive, which right now it doesn't really look like, but this could change at a moment's notice, really. Because once these 1-1's upgrade finishes up, these links are going to suck. These Ravagers are going to be balls. The production of Marines is still fantastic. They have combat shield. There are medevacs out already as well. Like, sure, losing more drones sucks, or losing more SCVs sucks, but it's not like Reynor is really building a whole lot of workers either behind this. 1-1 has now finished up. All of these links are basically going to die for free. 60 army supply to 34. 1-1 upgrades against 0-0 as Reynor is honestly pretty much dead at this point. Look at this. Look at these Marines just kind of rip through. Medevacs are empty, completely out of energy. Tank is about to finish up though. Reynor coming in with what feels like a final ditch effort here. Does have the Ravagers in position to perhaps bile the tank, but no, uses a single bile to try and clear the Marines, and as a result can't one-shot the tank anymore. Needs to really heal these Marines though. New medevac is out, that one has quite a bit of energy, can't afford to aimlessly use Stim. Would love for this tank to even go towards the high ground, especially as he spots more and more units streaming in forward. The low ground holding is not really a priority, just staying alive is the priority, as we're gonna get another semi-wall here being produced that will bait out a bunch of biles, which is exactly what you want. Ooh, half a stim here, half the army gets stimmed, that is scary. Scary for both. Second tank is also gonna try and move down. Please don't do that. Just keep it upstairs, mate. Yeah, there we go. Keep it upstairs. Reynor's gonna try and transition out of this. Do we have an armory behind it? No, we don't. Reactors can now start. This was fantastic out of Clem. What a hold. What an absolutely phenomenal hold with the armory on the way, with the triple CC throwing down mules, triple CC SCV production, and now capable of forcing your opponent into building more units. Like, yeah, that's freaking sick. That's absolutely sick. This is a lot of Marines as well. 25 Marines for a medevac. So all of these Marines have a spot in a medevac as well. Good surround with Marines though. Holy crap. Nice control there out of Reynor. As the tank decided to rally across the map. Big blunder out of Clem, who is close to losing a full medevac here as well. Does barely manage to keep it alive. Really feels like Clem is afraid of something. I'm not quite seeing what he's afraid of. He's in a phenomenal spot. I think he does need to do something with his lead though. He's fighting against someone that's defending with 5 Ravagers and 41 Links without upgrades. And he has so many Marines, like Marines by themselves. I think if you just push with the 42 Marines, you could win the game. But he's afraid of a counterattack, I think. And that's giving Reynor a potential out. That is potentially giving Reynor a bit of an out here. Yeah, these Marines they're being so defensive. Once Bailing Speed finishes, this game could once again just kind of swing slowly into the favor of Reynor. This is so many Marines. What's this? 24, 30, 38 Marines are here in this army. How many do we have total? 43. Yeah, it sounds about accurate. I think it's 12 per line. So yeah. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I really thought Clem was gonna go across the map and deal serious amounts of damage here. But he's playing it so freaking safe and slow. It's like he's afraid of something that currently doesn't exist. Reynor is getting away with murder here. Threw down an infestation pit. It's gonna get his 1-1 upgrades to finish. It's gonna get his bailing speed to finish. And the upgrade lead is now kind of gone. I mean, it's still there a little bit. Shrambai didn't do that much. Kill a couple of workers, maybe a tank, bunch of Marines. And the fact that bailing speed is so big here. Yeah, I think that the timing has come and gone. Wow. Clem leaving a lot on the table there, really. Just leaving a lot on the table. He was in a position to deal significantly more damage. And I understand why he didn't, because he was afraid of run buys. He was afraid of maybe a counter attack or like a full-on, aggressive move out again out of his opponent. And Clem is okay with just playing it slow. Now he's down 26, 27 supply. Worker count is not necessarily great for either player, but still a little bit better for Reynor. Creep spread is honestly pretty fire as well. I'm kind of okay with how the creep spread looks. We have a hive on the way. Once that finishes up, we're going to get adrenal glands. I wonder if this is the type of game where you throw down an Ultralisk Cavern. That is what it feels like though, isn't it? This is an Ultralisk Cavern type of game. Like a really fast hive in the context of the game. Where it was, quite scrappy. I don't think his lair started until like minute 8 or 9. So yeah, then the hive is pretty freaking fast. Now Tutu is about to finish up. I'm going to try and target down some of these Banes. Nice target fire there. Shift click the couple. Big Marine push on the left side. This is off creep. This is really scary for Reynor. I almost feel like that Clem can just fight it. Yeah, Clem kind of agreed here. It's going to get 1 or 2 more. Let's get the full-on pickup as well. It's going to drop down once more. These are bad fights for Reynor. They really are. As Clem evens up the supplies here. Infestor now on the way. It's 2-2 versus, 1-1. That is a big difference. Loving these Baneling bombs. Loving them. Poof. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a game changer right there, because that was a serious force that was ready to move in. And it is going to be an Ultralisk Cavern, which is kind of what we expected in this type of game. I feel like Ultralisk kind of stabilized the game for Zerk a little bit. Here comes a flank, by the way. I'm not sure if Reynor can actually do that, but I'm also not sure how ready Clem was. Mines are trying to burrow. There's no drilling claws quite yet, so these are just going to get taken out afterwards. Mine shots not really connecting with anything. Carapace level 2 is finishing up, basically at the end of this fight. The Ravagers are going to take out these Liberators as well. Splits are good out of Clem, by the way. Holy cow. More mines being rallied either towards their death or towards glory. And so far it doesn't look so great. Ravager's kind of stuck in a corner here, which is just hilarious to me. Clem is trying to catch these. I'm not sure if he can. Lots of mines though to back this push up. 0 Banes currently out. Here comes the Infestor. Oh, whoop. We get a fungal. Oh, yes sir, we can. And that's gonna cost him a couple of medevacs as well as a bunch of bio. Good fight out of Reynor. It initially was doubtful whether that was gonna be it, but that definitely was it. Level 3 Carapace now on the way. Level 2 Melee is about to finish up as well. Chitin is plating. What's the Marauder count? What's the... Ooh, the Barracks count is only at 5. I feel like that is the bigger issue. That is a real crime. Don't have a Ghost Academy. Don't have extra 3 Barracks yet to start pumping Marauders like a madman. This is a wild mine drop, by the way. 3 mines in a medevac with like freaking 35 HP. Gets hit twice by a queen and then a drone sneezes in its direction. It falls out of the sky. It's popped like a freaking balloon. Ooh. Mine gets triggered there. We get a pickup. This wasn't the cleanest pickup though. Not the cleanest pickup at all. Three upgrades on the way. I think Clem needs to slow down a bit. He's been losing a lot of crap. His worker count is poor. I would say it's poor. Overall, his trades haven't been great. You have some of them sharking investors right now. First Ghost starting to pop out. Oh, I thought these guys were burrowed. I was seeing them on the mini-map and I was like, ah, this feels like they're burrowed, but they weren't burrowed. Ooh, a couple of big mine hits. 18 and 14 kills respectively on these mines. I think both of them have shot twice now, so not all in one go. Ravager's gonna get taken out here as well. That was a very efficient shot, as these mine shots are also good. And one thing that these mine drops do as well is that it kind of, you know, you slow down the game a little bit. Because Reynor right now is busy dealing with those mines. At the same time, pure Marines. Not gonna cut it. Ooh, that's another big shot. I think that was the first shot of the mine with 12 kills instantly. Oh, there we go. Single link being sent forward. 7 drones have gone down here. 3-3 over halfway done. Honestly, for both players though, so upgrades not as big of a story anymore in this game as they were earlier. Clem thinking back of the good old days about 7 minutes ago when he was in a great spot. Oh, back when I had an upgrade lead and my army was huge. And he had no baneling speed. Yeah, those were the good old days. You don't really know what you've got till it's gone, is what Clem is living right now. Boy, that was a great spot that he was in. Really fantastic defense, of course, in that early game. Oh, here we go. He's gonna get a pickup of these 4 Marines. 5th CC is absolutely unrealistic to get down here. You have a bunch of Lings, Ultras moving towards the left side. I think this is a suicide mission. The Marauder count is simply not there. We're 5 Marauders. The Ultra count is huge. Everything here is very clumped up. That is a massive fungal as well. So you're gonna get a surround on it. This ain't working out at all here for Clem. Yeah, every single time he tries to take this 5th base is gonna be a scary moment. Wait, where did it go, the 5th base? Did it just fly back? Am I crazy? There was a 5th base here, right? Or did it just make up that he was gonna try and take a 5th base? I swear there was a command center earlier that was flying over. It must have died to the biles, which is rare by itself, or maybe Clem accidentally A-moved it. Ghost count is starting to grow here. A problem being is just that the mine count is fairly low. We don't have tanks, we don't have that many lips, and we don't have that many Marauders. So really, banelings are such a valuable tool still in the army, when I don't believe they should be as valuable anymore. Banelings are always good, of course, but they shouldn't be this game changing. And I also don't think that Ultra should have this much power at this stage of the game anymore, as the Marine count is still so freaking high. Biles are gonna reach to the sky and take out a bunch of these Liberators. 1 lip still remains. Snipes coming in. That means that a bunch of these Ultras will end up falling, but actually just 1 or 2 end up going down. Mines from the side helping out as well, as the command center, we can see on the top of the screen, is falling. No lift there out of Clem as it does go down. 175 supply out of Reynor, and only 116 for Clem. Clem down in workers, down in army supply, and honestly the army supply that he does have is 18 Marines, 5 Marauders, 7 Ghosts. Like, is not enough. It's simply not enough. He needs some type of siege unit here. He needs them in big numbers. He's trying to pump out mines 3 at a time. And he's just distracting his opponent. Double drops being sent out towards the side. I feel like this should have been done a little while ago. Trying to get some momentum back in the game. As this mine is going to connect with 4 links. And so left side base actually going to get cancelled. You have a lot of units here being split off as well. So honestly, Clem doing better while down 70, 80 supply. Like making better moves, making bigger moves than he has been for a while now. He's going to try and take a 5th on the far left side, which is understandable because he needs mining. Like he needs to try and take it. If you don't take it now, you're never going to get it because you're being outmined so massively. Mines do still need to burrow. Snipes go down, but so does the fungal. GG gets called as Clem gets blasted by the Italian Stallion with 2-1. And the games that were ZVT, honestly, were about as one-sided as the PVT. No, that's not true. It wasn't as one-sided. But Reynor did look very dominant. Like the moment the game's kind of stabilized. Yeah, very dominant. All right, it's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this series. If you did, don't forget the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.